Hi, this is just some additional information for episode 7 of Bicep for Real. In this episode, we start deploying some containers using Azure Container Apps, and we reference a container image that's in our container registry. What I don't explain in that episode is how to get that container image into your registry so that you can follow along if you want to deploy the example application that I'm using. So quickly here, we'll just run through how that works. As mentioned in the episode, we're using this Hello K8's node container, which has been provided by the Dapper team. And so this is just a sort of Hello World example container. Obviously, if you want to, you can absolutely use a different container in this scenario. You can use your own or a different public one, absolutely fine. But we're going to use this one. So the first thing we need to do is have a look at or find your container first. So this is on Docker, which is a sort of central store for public images. And if we go in here, we can see there's not a lot of information on this page, but if we go to tags, it shows us the different tags. And we're going to find basically the tag we want to use. A couple of things to be aware of. There is generally a latest tag on here. You don't generally want to use latest for most production work, at least, because the latest tag basically pulls the latest version, but that's the latest version at the time. So you could find the latest today is different to the latest tomorrow. You're not ensuring that you're getting a known version. So generally you do want to use a version tag. The other question that I imagine people will ask is, why are we bothering pulling this image in? Why don't we pull it straight from Docker Hub? And you absolutely could have your container app pull straight from Docker Hub. But generally, again, in a production environment, you don't want to rely on a public registry for your images because you are making yourself vulnerable to supply chain attacks. Usually what you would do is if you are using a public image, you would pull it into a repository that you own so you could manage that image. You would do some sort of container scanning on there to check vulnerabilities and issues so that you've actually tested it before it goes into your registry. And then you would pull the image from your registry so you're in control. So we're going to pull the image. We're going to take the latest tag of 1.9, but not the latest tag, if that makes sense. So this is the one we want. So first up, let's make a note of the actual name. So what we need to do is we need to hop over to the command line. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to pull the image from Docker Hub onto our machine and then push it up to our registry. So we've got Docker installed on our machine. If you haven't got it installed already, go install the Docker for Windows library, but we've got that installed. So what we can do is do Docker pull and then the name of the image and tag. That's what the tag is 1.9.0. So you'll notice here, I'm not actually putting a server name in here. It's just this path from Docker Hub. If you don't put a server in, it will just result to using Docker Hub, which is what we're doing here. So if we run, that should go and pull that image down for us from Docker. There we go. You can see that's pulling in the image onto my machine. And there we go. So if we do a Docker images list, we should see, right, we should see we've got that here. And I've actually got an older version there as a 1.71. So you can see I've got it on my machine. So what we want to do is we want to actually now push that to our container registry. So there's a couple of things we want to do first. So the first thing is we need to actually log into the registry, otherwise we're not going to have rights to do it. We use AZDR login, N for the name of the registry, and run that, and that will log into the container registry so we're authenticated to it. Rather than you can use a Docker login command if you wanted to, but this makes life a bit simpler. Okay, so now we've got this image locally. What we need to do is basically rename it so that it is going to go and push to the right registry. So the name of the image actually in the Docker world is a tag. So effectively what we're going to do here is we're going to say Docker tag, the name of the current image, which is this one, and then the version number. And then we actually want to rename it so it points to our registry. So I've already got the other one here, so I'll just copy and paste this. But basically, this is the name of our registry. So this is the full server name, and then the name of the image we're going to push to there. So you can rename the image if you want to. And again, we're going to put the version there as well. If we wanted to put it into a subfolder within the registry, we could also do that. So you could if you how you want to organize your images, but we will do that, and that will tag the image locally. So now if we do Docker image list again, we should now see we've got the Landed Toys ACR version for the 1.9. So that's on our machine. We now have to push it to the remote registry. So we'll just do Docker push again, version number, and that will then push the image up to the remote registry. That's completed. So if we now go have a quick look in the Azure portal, and you can see we've got this image in the repository, and you can see we've got the 1.9 version in there. That's how you can put an image. This will work for the demo image, but it'll work for any other image if you want to do that to walk through the scenarios. Obviously, in a production world where maybe you need this on a regular basis, you would probably look at building some CD pipelines that would do this work for you, that would probably integrate some scanning for you as well as part of that process. But for what we're doing here, just to be able to demo a container running in our ACR, this should work fine.